Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host. The new Black.
Oh, I guess there we go. I'm over here talking and I'm on mute. My bad. Good morning to you, man. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street as a Money and Power show for a special presentation here on this Saturday. We don't normally have a show on Saturday, but I did want to address a couple of things and make sure I was available to try to answer any questions that you might have. Today, we'll talk about Apple, the company, the stock, the split. And we'll also talk a little bit about Facebook. In case you guys don't know, they have put out some information as it relates to supporting Black-owned businesses. So I figured I'd take a look at that with you guys here today on the Money and Power Show. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. The book that I wrote, guys, is a study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way. But if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. Well, you can pick up your book by simply going to the website, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. The site is back up, and we actually only have 16 physical copies left, and those will be the last 16 physical copies that we print. So if you want to be one of the few that actually has a physical copy in hand, feel free to go to the website and order today. The ebook will still be available. You can do the virtual, the virtual one anytime you want. But the physical copy, if you want one in your library, it's only 16 copies left as we prepare to write our next book. But simply go to the website www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. Today's episode is being brought to you by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, which specializes in Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and also Black art-inspired gifts. Here at ERGJ Black Bazaar, we've done some redesign a little bit. That's right, man. We want to make sure that you guys knew that we support other Black-owned businesses. So you see right here, our very first category is our Black-owned business partners. And in there, you'll find other Black-owned businesses that you can do business with. There's a Black-owned chip company. There's a Black-owned laundry detergent company. There's a Black-owned air freshener company, a Black-owned adult novelty company, Black-owned shoe company, Black-owned apparel company, Black-owned natural care products company, Black-owned soap company. And if you happen to be a Black-owned business, you'd like to partner with us and be a part of what we present, then make sure you inbox us on our Facebook page, ERGJ Black Bazaar. But not only that, guys, we do also, as I mentioned, we do have a Black to School campaign. I know they're not necessarily going back to school just yet, but you probably still need to get some supplies, and you might still want to just do it up for the kids. So you come over to our Black to School section, and you'll find some bags, some books, some journals. We'll be adding calendars and planners soon as well, as we get our kids prepared and ready to go get their learn on. And we have our personal protective equipment section. That's where you'll find the Lysol, the Microban, and all that good stuff, all your masks and things like that, as we're still dealing with COVID-19. But you can find all this stuff by simply going to the website, www.theblackbazaar.com, www.theblackbazaar.com. Here at ERGJ Black Bazaar, we want you guys to remember this, that once you shop Black, you never go back. That's right, man. Once you shop black, you never go back. Give black a try. Shop black. Black business is the new trend. How about that? And then we see that across the country as more and more people are being intentional about buying black. Even non-black folk are being intentional about buying black. This is an interesting time. I don't think I've ever seen a time like this in my life. 40 years here on this earth. I don't think I've ever seen a time where other people, other groups, were intentionally spending their money with black folk. What a great time it is to be black in business in 2020 during COVID-19. What a great time it is to be black and in business in 2020. Can anybody refute that? They throwing money at black businesses right now. Got grants for black businesses right now. Obviously for all businesses, but they are intentional about black-owned businesses as well in their language. What a great time it is to be black and in business. Man, love to find out who's here with us this morning as the early bird gets the worm. Go ahead and let us know where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country, what city, what state, what country. Go ahead and hit the like and share button if you care as well. If you are your brother's keeper, if you are your sister's keeper, and you want to stop having people come asking you for handouts or money and borrow money from you, and you want them to learn a little bit about money, well, this might just be the show for them. Let's find out who's here with us this morning. We're broadcasting across the World Wide Web using this thing called the internet to connect with people all over the globe. We're using our Facebook Live platform, our YouTube Live platform to do that. And we are broadcasting from our studios here in Decatur, where it's greater Georgia. That's right, Decatur, where it's greater Georgia. Man, Grand Rising City, Queen Yvette, always the first here. First in, last out. Queen Yvette, Miss Goodridge is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us. Me and Mrs. Kim Jones, Grand Rising to you. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Miss Millionaire herself is in the house, man. That's right. My tech savvy sister, Miss Crystal Hill, is in the house out of Norcross, Georgia. Grand Rising to you. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. TWT, my sister from Indiana, this millionaire in the making, is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Miss Tequila Tucker on Money and Power Show. Keyshawn Levon, good morning to you, Queen. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Money and Power Show. Mr. Hurst is in the house, man. You got a wonderful last name, by the way, man. I can see Hurst across all these hotel buildings or something like that, man. The billionaire himself is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. L.A. Jones in the house out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. My sister from another mister. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. My brother, I don't even know if I say your name right, by the way. I just like to say Brother Royce Wheeler in the house. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Money and Power Show. The SEO expert has joined us. Let's see if we're gonna get good. If we're gonna get a good search engine optimization here on our show today. Miss Chandra SEO sister herself, McLam, is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Money and Power Show. Out of Houston, Texas, Dr. Robert Henderson out of Detroit has joined us today on the Money and Power Show. Thanks so much for joining us today, brother. That millionaire and making himself, Milch, right? The financial guru himself, the financial educator also. Brother Milt Jr. has joined us today on the Money and Power Show. Thanks so much for joining us today. Now, in case you guys don't know, the Money and Power Show, we talk about money and the power. And those two concepts seem to be, a miss in our community. Money being that economics, or money being one of those things that's kind of hard to discuss sometimes, I guess. I'm not quite sure. And power being politics. And we know what happens when we talk about politics. I mean, it turned into, we damn near about to kill each other over talking about politics. So I just continue to have a conversation because I believe we shouldn't be afraid to voice our opinions and what we believe and learn what we don't know as it relates to these two particular areas. It has a lot to do with how we function, live, and operate in this thing called society, money, and the power. And today, I figured I'd talk a little bit about this company called Apple. Apple. Now, Apple being the wonderful, great company, many of us use their products. Many of us stand in long lines just to get their products. I don't, but some people do. And as we begin to mature as it relates to money, we begin to understand it might be just as good, if not better, not just to own the product, but to own the stock. And so we're going to take a look at this thing called Apple stock and begin to understand how we have participated in the emergence, the growth, the acceleration, the profits of this wonderful, great company. And I wonder how many of us have got our cut. And it's just simple. Not simple. It's something to think about when you start thinking about all the wonderful, great companies that you have helped to be wonderful and great. You have helped to stay in business. You have helped. You have participated in putting money into their storehouse. And I just simply say, well, why not get some of your money back? That's how I look at it. All right. And so I just teach very simple things as it relates to this thing called investing, where you can say, you know what, I'm going to do business with Apple anyway. I'm going to buy the iPhone every year anyway. I'm going to get the AirPods, and I'm going to utilize whatever else they make. I'm going to utilize that stuff anyway. I might as well look at owning where I buy. Everybody put guys on where you buy. You might as well look at. Now, I'm not saying necessarily go do it, but at least look at owning where you buy. You're gonna do it anyway. So what happened for me, guys? I just stopped. I used to be that guy, right? Why y'all standing in line? These long line to buy these products that they only spend $20 to make, but you spend $200 to own. I used to be that guy, right? Until I matured. I said, well, I'm gonna come with a different approach. You're gonna do that anyway, or people gonna do that anyway, even if it ain't you particularly. I just said, well, I'm gonna learn how to, instead of complaining about what people are doing, and even trying to get people to change, which is one of the hardest things to do, I'm going to figure out how I can capitalize off what other people are doing anyway. And what I mean by capitalize, that simply means how I'm going to make money off of other people's behavior. That's how I started looking. I say, how am I going to learn how to earn money off of other people's behavior? Because they're not going to stop doing what they have been doing. They're going to keep doing it. And no matter what I say, it ain't going to change what they do. So instead of going crazy, I said, well, how can I learn? How can I capitalize off what people are going to do anyway? And so all my life, well, not all my life, but I guess since 1985, 1990, whatever, that's been a thing. Apple comes out with a new product, a new phone. People go out, stand in line. They sell out of these phones and make a lot of profit off of those phones, like make a lot of profit off the accessories, all that good stuff, right? It's been a behemoth of a company. We'll take a look at it here today. So let's get into this thing. I first wanted to start by I showed this earlier, but I know some people might not have saw my post. So I wanted to go through what this is, in case you got answer any questions that you have. This is just a public service announcement as it relates to investing, and hopefully to help you understand these simple terms here. So what I have up right now, this is my investment, my latest investment in a company called Apple, using the Cash App platform. So Cash App now has where you can invest through Cash App. And I found it to be very easy. I wish I had some type of referral link I could use, because I probably have turned a lot of people on to Cash App investing, but they ain't paid me. But I'm gonna find another way to get paid through Cash App, right? But anyway, so this is one of my portfolios. I invest through a lot of different platforms, but Cash App is one. And the reason why I choose Cash App is not for their investing. It's actually for the ability to be able to teach you, right? It's something that most people are familiar with. Many people use it. It's easy to see and it's easy to use. And so I said, well, and now I can do things like this, take screenshots, show people, and teach them that way, where I don't really want to open up my major account and teach from that, right? So that's why I do this. So here's my Apple investment that I actually invested in, I would say probably since March. So 6 months I've been adding to over time this investment. So I currently have put my own money, my own seed money. Everybody put in the console, money is a seed. I put my own seed money into this company called Apple, which makes the wonderful, great Apple phone, iPhone, this, that, and anything else that they make and that people buy. And my money, my $855 that I have invested over this particular time that I haven't invested in this particular company, which is just 6 months, it's actually earned over $342 itself. So my money multiplied. My money went to work for me. And that would represent a 40% return in 6 months for the money that I invested. Now, I did not put $855 in all in March. I put it in over time. I may put $50 in one day. I might do $25 another day. I might do $75 another day. I might do $10 another day. I don't know. I just kept, whenever I felt like it and I had a little bit of money, I put it in somewhere. I just kept I kept watering I kept cultivating the land. Right? Now, let me ask you guys this, right, as it relates to your own experience. Where are you seeing where you can actually grow your money 40% in 6 months? Now, this isn't indicative of what it will do moving forward. I just had an understanding of where we are in the market. I had an understanding of this wonderful, great company that was still wonderful and great. I had an understanding that it's temporary retraction had nothing to do with how they do business, but had everything to do with a health concern in the world, being COVID-19. And I told people, even at the same time, this is the best time for you to be investing when everybody else is selling. How many guys remember that? Right? I did the videos. I literally went through stuff and showed people, like, here's great places for you to consider. Some people listen, most people don't. What's going on, Chandra? Nope, they are not. Absolutely, man. The stores are closing, but people still buying the same stuff, just doing it on. Absolutely, not stopping. When you buy stuff on Amazon online, absolutely not stopping. Money is a seed. So this is just an example, guys, of an investment, a 6 month investment, right? Not 6 months, not 6 years, not 60 years, 6 months. Now, the same people who 6 months ago did the same thing, they got very similar returns. It's not like I'm the only one that got this kind of return on Apple. Anybody that's over the past 6 months that have invested in this wonderful, great company, and we continue to help be profitable and make money and all that stuff, they got similar returns as well. So any questions about this? So unrealized just simply means, in case you guys wonder what that word means, until I cash out, right, it's unrealized. So until I sell, it's unrealized. So when I sell, if I sell, or whenever I sell, that's when it becomes realized. So it's still not real until I actually sell. And the same thing with the gain. It's unrealized until I actually sell. When I sell, it becomes real. When I sell, that's when I got to pay taxes on it. Then when I sell, that's when I got to take care of that stuff. Does that make sense to anybody? Right? Now, Apple also just happens to be the #1 company in the world. Just happens to be. Amazon's a close #2. But Apple just happens to be the #1 company in the world. To me, no brainer. Okay. Now, here's a quick look at Apple itself. I wanted to bring this up from CNN. Let's see if this is big enough. And the only thing I really want you to see, because what I'm going to do something different. I don't really normally do that. I'm going to go to Apple itself. But just notice, this year, since January, Apple has grown 69%. Year to date, Apple grown 69%. At the beginning of the year, they were about $300 per share. Now they're $497 per share. Now, if you listen to Main Street, which would be the world, you may think that everything is doing bad. Everything is terrible. The sky is falling, right? And then back in this particular time frame, when March came and we took that little dip in March for the COVID-19, and we got down to $250 per share. Guess what I was doing? My eyes was like bling, bling. I felt like Drake was calling me. I knew I know when that hotline blinged. My hotline was blinging. It said Apple is on sale. It's under $250 a share. It's a wonderful, great company that people keep on spending their money on, helping them be profitable. Hey, man, if you're not going to buy it now, when are you going to buy it? If you're not going to buy it now, when are you going to buy it? So guess what I did? I just put some more seed money into this thing called Apple. And it's up 69% year to date. It's not right. To me, it's not rocket science. Right? Right? It's not that they got but when it I got in when it got bloody. Buy when it I got to buy when it. Listen, and here's the thing, Mr. Wheeler. It's not like we're talking about a company that we don't know. It's not like we're talking about a company that we haven't done business with. Not like we're talking about a company that we don't know that what's his name? I know Tim Cook, Steve Jobs, and then transition to the Tim Cook. We probably can all tell an Apple story. We probably have all used Apple products from. I remember the iPod. I remember that. We got iTunes. They finding ways to continue to get money from people by providing products and services that are valuable to the community, regardless of the community, regardless of the ethnic group. It don't matter. They just say, hey, we got some cool products. We want you guys to, and some cool services. And we hope you guys appreciate enough to buy it, and we keep buying. Let's keep going. That's all I want you to see here. Up 69% year to date, right? So all through the COVID-19 and all that stuff, guess what? They still are still prospering. They're still getting wealthy. They're still getting money. They're still, and their investors are still getting rich with them. Are you? Are you? Right? All right. So let's keep going. All right. So Apple, right? I just want to show you this as well. So you can come over here to the Apple website, and most people come to the Apple website to go find Apple stuff to buy. I don't. I come to the Apple website and I just scroll all the way down to the bottom, passing all the stuff that they want me to buy, right? And I come down to this one little section down here called investors. And this is the section of most of any publicly traded company where they're enticing, they're putting out content to entice people to become investors with their company so they can continue to go and make products that they can sell to other people for profit, right? So this is a way for them to still continue to get capital to continue to grow. Hopefully I'm not losing anybody, right? So here's the interesting thing. So here's interesting. So then you say, okay, man, well, let me come over here to this newsroom. Let's see what's going on with Apple, right? So all these wonderful things, like, oh man, they announced Apple Music Radio. That happened on the 18th, right, of August. They got, look at this, Apple TV Plus subscribers. They get CBS All Access, a Showtime bundle at a great value. Okay. Phil Schiller advances to Apple Fellow, whatever that means. He'll lead the Apple Store, the Apple events. A 27-inch iMac gets a major update. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oprah Winfrey names cast their origins of our discontents to Oprah's book club. So Oprah's book club is on the Apple something. Okay. Apple. Okay. Third quarter results. World opens Friday. Oh, Apple Central World. They got a new space that's opening in Thailand. Look, oh, Apple donates its proceeds from John Lewis documentary to museums in his honor. Oh, wow. Okay. The 40-year mission of Apple distinguished educator Dr. Carl Owens. This is back in July 23rd. An Apple distinguished educator since the program began 25 years ago. So they highlighted some black folk. Look at this. Apple creators and disability rights activists reflect on 30 years of the ADA, which is the Americans with Disabilities Act. Apple and HBCUs bring coding opportunities to communities across the United States. Okay. So coding opportunities is deepening partnerships with historically black colleges and universities and working with 10 additional. Interesting. All right. So you see all this good quality, great stuff that's going on that Apple's doing and all that stuff. But I wanted to talk about their split, right? I want to make sure that that we talked about this. So here on their third quarter results, which came out July 30th, right? Revenue was up 11%, EPS up 18%. Tim Cook talked about it here. He said, man, the board of directors has also approved a 4-to-1 stock split to make the stock more accessible to a broader base of investors. Each Apple shareholder of record at the close of business on August 24th, which is 2 days from now, will receive 3 additional shares for every share held on record date, and trading will begin on a split adjusted basis on August 31st. Right? So basically, on Monday, at the close of business on Monday, this stock split is going to take effect, and then they'll begin trading on the split adjusted basis on August 31st. All right. Now, I want to talk about this because there's some people who, I don't know, there's questions out there. Let's first understand the stock split and what this really means, right, in 2020. Okay. I just want to make sure, people understand what a stock split is if you don't know. So we just said it, right? But let's just break this thing down. So a stock split, 4-to-1 stock split, means that right now, let's just say right now, and I believe we saw that just a second ago, that Apple is trading at $497, $500, basically $500 per share, right? Let's look on the Apple thing. I'm gonna keep trying this. I haven't done this in a while. Okay, so he's trading at $500 a share. Okay, stock price for Apple's $500 a share. All right, so if you own Apple right now, then at the close of business on Monday, right, your shares will be divided by 4. Right, not your shares, the price will be divided by 4. So it's going to go from a price of $500 to $125. At the same time, your shares, the shares that you own, whatever that is, it's going to multiply by 4. So if you own 1 share at $500, at the close of business on Monday, you'll own 4 shares at $125. That's the exact same value. 1 times 500 is 500. 4 times 125 is 500. Exact same value. So nothing's changed as far as what you own other than the amount that you own. The cool part about a stock split for those that it's really a benefit to those who already own, because now I can say, well, before I might have had to sell my whole share in order to cash out. Now I can sell 1 share and still have 3 shares. If I still wanted to keep Apple, but I wanted to sell a little bit of Apple off so that I could then use my 125 or my 250 or whatever to then go do whatever else I wanted to do with it, right? Yeah, I could have been holding Apple for a long time. I've had shares for 5, 10, 15 years, 2 years, doesn't matter. And but now, I might want to cash out a little bit. So it's real cool. It's real good for those who already own Apple. And in previous years, it's real good for those that wanted to buy Apple, because in previous years, you had to buy a whole share, and so maybe you couldn't afford $500, but you can afford $125. But that's not. It's different now, and here's why it's different. As far as benefit is concerned. It's different now because of this thing called fractional shares, i.e. Cash App investing. If I wanted to go on Cash App right now and buy Apple and I didn't have $500, I can still buy me some Apple. I could buy $50 worth, I could buy $100 worth, I could buy $125 worth, it don't matter. I could choose how much I wanted to buy, and I could buy that amount, which would be like pieces of the share. 2 years ago that you couldn't do that, or 5 years ago you couldn't do that. You either had to buy the whole share or you didn't buy none. So things have changed, and because things have changed or evolved, so has advice. Advice has to adjust. Advice has to change. Advice has to evolve, because how we used to do things is not the same way we do them now. Here's some other things that have changed. 5 years ago, when I wanted to buy Apple, regardless of the price, and I go through my broker to buy it, I would have to pay a price. I would have to pay a fee. I had to pay a $5, $7, $8 fee just to buy it. So that would be the broker's cut. They're $8 to give me access to them, go buy the Apple stock. I will own the Apple stock, but I had to pay $8 to do it. Now, they don't have a fee because of competition, because of evolution, because of all that stuff. Now I can go through my broker, most brokers, not all brokers, most brokers, and there's no additional fee for me to do acquisition of a share. So now it's cheaper. Everybody, how many guys like cheaper? I like cheaper. I mean, I remember when it was $8 to do a trade. Now it's cheaper. It's $0 to do a trade. That's benefit. That's a benefit to the buyer. So now it's cheaper and more accessible because you don't have to buy whole shares if you don't want to. As long as you're using a proper broker that gives you that access. Here's the reason why I teach about Cash App investing, because a lot of the barriers to entry have been dissolved. A lot of those walls have been broken down. Is that making sense to anybody? So although, yes, there's a stock split, and yes, we could say that it's more accessible to users who don't know what I'm teaching you today, the truth is it really isn't. It's still a benefit to the seller, not necessarily to the buyer. Now, here's some people's thought, right? Well, I'm going to wait until after the split because some people will sell some shares, and then if there's a selling pressure going on, then I can, then maybe it'll be cheaper, right? And here's the thing: just be careful of looking for cheaper when you're talking about a company like Apple, which continues to show you that they're continuing to grow. Right? Because if you're going to look for cheaper, then you have to identify, okay, well, how much cheaper? Are you talking about 50 cents, $1, $5, $10? What is cheaper to you, right? So here's the thing. If we look at Apple, again, we're talking about the number one company in the world. Personally, I'm like, what the heck are you waiting on? I don't know. I mean, but to each his own. I'm just saying, it's just, what are we waiting on? What am I looking for? Here we go, right? So if I look at this, right, I think I'm on the right thing now. Yeah, I'm on the right thing now. Year to date, 69%, right? If we go 3 years, 200%. 5 years, 370%. So, and they've had stock splits here and there as well, but we're looking at a company that continues to appreciate. So, where on this upward scale are you going to look to say, okay, maybe I can get it for cheaper? Because the longer that you wait, the longer you miss out on the opportunity. Now, here is a I would say, I'm not going to say a better strategy, but here's a strategy that I would employ. It's called dollar cost averaging, right? Dollar cost averaging simply says, you know what? I see this wonderful, great company that I believe in, if you believe in it. And I just want to get in. I just want to be a part of, I want to participate in their profits. So let me just go get some or whatever I can afford right now. And then if it drops in price, just like I said, it dropped to 250. Guess what I did? I went and got more. I didn't wait until it dropped to 250 to go get some, but when it dropped to 250, I went and got more because I figured I already own it. Now it's on sale. I still love it. Let me go get some more. So if your thought process is, okay, let me wait till it drops, which you don't know whether it's going to drop or not, but you still want to participate in the number one company in the world, just go get you some. $50, $100, $200, it doesn't matter. And then if it does drop, and you're like, I'm glad it dropped, go get you some more. Now, what does that do? What that does is it reduces your cost average. It reduces your cost, right? So if you bought, let's just say you bought $200 worth today or Monday or whatever, whenever you can, and it's $497. Let's just go with split adjusted prices. Let's just say you bought $125 on Tuesday. I'm going to try to make this simple because it's going to change with the split adjust. So we're going to look at after the split. Say you bought $125 on Tuesday, and you bought 2 shares. So that's $250. You got invested. You feel good. You got you some Apple stock. you invested in the number one company in the world. You still believe that they're going to continue to grow. You still know people sitting out there going to go do the Apple phones and all that stuff. You still have a belief in their forward progression, whatever the case may be. And then let's just say next Tuesday, something happens. Maybe it's a selling pressure, and then it goes down to $75. Hypothetically. Then you look at it like, then you get to this point, you say, oh, it's going down. Maybe they're not as good as I thought. Or you say, well, shit, it's still a good company. It's now $50 less expensive than when I bought it the first time. Let me go get some more. So let's just say on next Tuesday, it were to go down to $75 and you bought 2 more shares. Now you in at 2 at 250, 2 at 75. That's 150. I'm 2 at 125, so there's 150. Now you're at $400 totally invested. You got 4 shares, but your cost average is $100. So you actually have your cost average is less than when you originally bought it, 125. It's a little bit more than when you secondarily bought at 75, but your cost average is at $100. So you're still able to take advantage of it dropping or going down if it goes there. And you was also still able to take advantage of getting in case there's some dividend payouts or anything like that. You're in the game and you're taking advantage of discounts. Isn't that, I mean, who doesn't like that? I mean, doesn't that sound great? I already own it and now I can take advantage of discounts. I mean, that's like a perfect shopper. Right? That's like a perfect shopper. If you believe in this thing called Apple. And so you did the same thing, Warren. You must have been on it like me. It says, it's 250. I'm gonna go get me some more, right? So you feeling what I'm feeling. You like, I'm up 40-some%, right? Just went and got you some more. So that could be and obviously, Warren, you've inspired this conversation with your post yesterday, but it wasn't for you. It's for other people who might have some interpretation or might be overthinking stuff and all this stuff, man. It's not rocket science, man. It's strategy. And so it comes down to belief, what you believe, and it comes down to just what you have believed more. Well, that's hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020, right? So there's plenty of companies out there that we wish we would have believed in more. Many of us wish we would have believed in Amazon. Many of us wish that, but that doesn't help, right? What we can say is, okay, moving forward, I'm going to believe in my belief, because you believe enough to do it. You just, maybe at the time you didn't have the cash flow. Maybe at the time you was like, COVID-19, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Right? So you did what was right at the time, but now 2020, you like, hindsight 2020, like, damn. Shit. Hey, 40% over $100 is the same, but it's a lot different than 40% on $1,000. Right? I get it, right? So any questions about, so I wanted to show you guys this as well, and this might be a little small. See if I can pull this up, make this bigger. All right, let me make it bigger. All right, so here on this page, I wanted to show you guys, this is straight from Apple. So what I'm doing, I'm looking, this is a little switch for me, so I'm a little slow because I normally just look at CNN, but I'm trying to change and look directly at the company and what the company is presenting and getting it right from the horse's mouth. So this is Apple's financial statement, right? Third quarter financial statement that came out on, I believe, 7/30, right? July 30th. And so we see here that a 3-month ordeal and then a 9-month ordeal, right? So they're looking at 3 months, a quarter, and then basically 9 months being basically almost a full year. But we see in their quarter in June of 2019, which was a year ago. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me say this again. They're looking at a quarter and they're looking at year to date. And they're comparing it from this year, this quarter, to last year, this quarter. So this year, this quarter, even through the pandemic, which would be through June, right? This is reporting through June 27th, which would be April, May, and June, third quarter. They have $46 million. This is in millions. $46 million worth of products that were sold compared to last year, this same time with no pandemic, of $42 million worth of products being sold. Last year, from January to June, this year, from January to June 27th, they had $170 million worth of products that were bought through their enterprise. Last year, from January to June, they had $162 million worth of products being sold. So they've actually increased sales even through a pandemic. Even through a pandemic. Right? So that's what I say. Like, just because the pandemic's going on and there's a recession taking place, so to speak, and a lot of people are impacted, they're making more money. They're making more money this year in 2020 through the same quarter and through the same year than they made last year. The stock split is 4-1 stock split. Right? 4-1 stock split. Is anybody else? I mean, does that not, like, I don't know about you, but that kind of amazes me that we have this pandemic going on and Apple is making more money. More money. A lot of other businesses are struggling, but this company is making more money. Wow. Or they sold more stuff. They got services. I don't know what services they provide, but they provide some services. Their services are up. And during this quarter versus last quarter, this same time frame, during this year versus last year versus the same time. They have now the cost of sales. That would be how much money they have to spend in order to be able to make the stuff that you buy, right? So this is the cost of goods, the cost of doing business. So they have their total net sales, $59 million, and the total cost to do business, to create the stuff and to make the stuff and all that stuff, $37 million. They have a gross margin, or this will be gross profit margin, of $22 million in a quarter. That's 3 months. Also, I probably would want you to see here that the proportion between the products that they sell versus the services. Look at this difference. It's a $10,000 difference between the products that they made and then how much people spent to buy them versus $4,000 for the services that they offer, how much they got to spend to offer the services they offer versus the $13,000 that people spent to use the services that they offer. They actually have a higher profit margin on the services that they provide than the products that they sell. I don't even know what services they offer. But they make more, they don't necessarily make more money, but they have a higher profit margin on their services versus their products. That's just a little nugget for people that are in business, right? For those of you guys that are, matter of fact, even Warren and anybody else, if you are in business, right? If you are a business, you're an entrepreneur, I want you to think about this question here, right? If you're a business and you sell products, do you also provide some type of service? If you're in business and you sell a service, do you also have some products that you sell? Because I don't know about you, but I'm saying if this is the number one company in the world and they found a way to still be profitable even through COVID-19 and all this stuff that's going on, and they have products that we know of, and quite possibly they also offer some services that I don't even know of, then why am I, as an entrepreneur, not going to follow the leader and say, I got products that I sell and also have services that I offer? Knowing that, just from understanding this little line, that I would actually have a higher profit margin, more than likely, in the services that I offer than the products that I sell. Oh, don't shout me down because I'm preaching good this morning. It must be Saturday. What's going on, Beth? Because people are at home and shopping their butts off on the internet. Hey, I got an e-commerce store. I'm pretty good about that. Let's keep going. So this might be the first time that people have looked at a financial statement. All companies should have their finances like a sales spreadsheet or QuickBooks or something, so you can look and see how things are going. Right? They got operating expenses. They put $4 million into research and development, selling and general administrative stuff. $4 million there for a quarter. They got $9 million a day spent. Their expenses as far as operating their business. Operating income, $13 million. Right? This is in millions. And so at the end of all of that, their income before provision of taxes, and provision for income taxes, their net income after their profit, after their margin, was 11 million. So they made 22 million, right? They sold $59 million worth of stuff, right? It cost them 37 million to make the stuff, giving them a profit of 22 million. Then they had to pay all their bills, all the lights, all the employees, all that stuff, right? And those expenses were 9 million, plus some of the taxes and stuff like that. So they walked away in the quarter, they walked away to $11 million in net. That would be after they pay their taxes, similar to how you get paid a gross if you got a job, and they take out Social Security, they take out, your benefits, and then you walk away with your net pay that you can then go use to pay your rent. That makes any sense to anybody? Am I losing anybody yet? Can y'all see this? I don't know if it's big enough. Let me know. I did blow it up, so hopefully it's big enough. I'm not sure. I see it good on my screen. You got earnings per share, which would be their earnings, which again goes back up here, versus the share price, which we found to be $459 per share. I don't know what this is. Shares you. Oh, this is the number of shares that they have out in circulation, right? Between all the people that own shares all across all these networks. This is the number of shares that are out there. They're basic shares that are out there in circulation. Then they break it down by sales by region. I've never seen this before. Wow. So they sold $27 million worth of stuff in America, $14 million worth of stuff in Europe, $9 million worth of stuff in China, $5 million worth of stuff in Japan, and another $4 million in the rest of Asia Pacific. So doing stuff like this, they like, well, we know where everybody's spending their money in America. Or I guess in Americas. I guess they include Canada in that. I guess that would be, I don't know if that's South and North America. I don't know if they identify as the America. Maybe they identify all of this whole Western region being North America, being United States and Canada, and then also Mexico. I guess that would be the Americas. Now they break it down by category. $26 million in the third quarter, 3 months, came from iPhone sales. $7 million in 3 months came from MacBook sales. $6.5 million in sales in 3 months came from iPad sales. $6.4 million in 3 months came from wearables, home products, and accessories. And then they had $13 million that came from the services that they offer, which brings us back to that same number of $59,685. This good stuff. Huh? All right. So now that's basically their rap sheet, I guess you can call it, financial statement. But it's a full financial statement. So now we get into their books. The books, and what they consider to be a book of a company, would be, we're looking at the books, which would be a financial statement, but they consider the books to really be, their assets versus their liabilities, what they own versus what they owe. So as a company in 3 months, which would be, no, this is not 3 months. I don't think this is 3 months. as of June of 2020, let's just say that, which is very interesting versus last year, September of 2019, it looks like they have actually sold some stuff or whatever, but they have less assets in June of 2020 than they did in September of 2019 at $140 million worth of stuff that they own. I'm sorry, of current assets. But even still, we look at their total assets, which would be all of their inventory, all that stuff versus property and all that stuff. They're down about $20 million worth of stuff that they own, which is, I don't know if that's interesting or not. I mean, I would imagine maybe they just sold some stuff off. Maybe they closed some stores to remain relevant. They could be doing a lot of different things. I mean, but what's good to see for me is that even though they've sold off or released some assets, they still have increased in profit. I mean, they've increased in sales. So it tells me that we're talking about good management, right? Let's reduce ownership of some things to maybe increase our capital, to maybe make sure we get through this time that we are in right now. It's a lot. It says to me, pretty good management. Like, why do you need to own so much stuff during a time when people ain't going to all the stores? So maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I mean, I don't know everything that they did, but I'm just trying to guess here. What this decrease could have been. But also look at this. Their total liabilities also decreased, right? Which would be, they went from 248 to 245. So that means they owe less stuff as well. So that's pretty good. So their debts are decreasing for the most part. Accounts payable, still got people they got to pay, right? You guys know some of these terms, commercial paper and repurchase agreements. I'm pretty sure, Warren, you know more about this stuff, commercial paper and repurchase agreement. I'm not going to act like I know what all this stuff means, guys. I just look at broad stuff and I come back in. I mean, at some point, I probably need to learn what all this stuff means, but I'm not Apple. All I need to really know is, okay, how much stuff did you own? How much stuff do you owe? And try to take care of the rest. So that total liability and shareholder equity, everybody put in console equity, which means that if you're a shareholder of Apple, you participate not in their profits, you participate in their equity. That's why a stock could be an asset, because you actually have equity, very similar to how your home can be an asset, because your home could increase in value while you live in it, and that will be equity as well. So, but you participate in $317 million worth of equity that Apple has built over time through June of 2020. That making any sense to anybody? Less infrastructure milk. All right, fantastic. I ain't lost anybody yet, have I? I'm a financial educator, so I hope to make things pretty simple for people. Right? All this financial jargon is not necessary when teaching. So anyway, and then we have the rest of their statement, guys. We'll get into cash flow, how much cash they got on hand, all that stuff as well. It's very similar stuff that I'll see on a third-party site, but again, I'm trying to move away from third-party information and get information right from the horse's mouth. Learn, read this stuff better, and make it make sense. Right. So, any questions thus far? Again, you got your stock price here for Apple. You can do a historical lookout was like how much was the price of one particular day. You can do all that stuff right from their website. They got a chart here. You can look at a 6-month chart, year to date, all this stuff you can look at right from their site. They do all this stuff right on the Apple website. Yesterday they were up $24, right, in their stock, and that was prior to the split. See what I'm saying? So so that everybody got on Apple, they feeling pretty good. Then you also have your filings, which would be to so you can go and see their current status when it comes to the SEC, right? And you can get alerts if you want to do that. Leadership and governance, who runs the company, right? I don't see no black folk. Maybe Lisa Jackson is black, kind of black. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, these are the people who run. Obviously, you know Tim Cook. You probably know Catherine Adams. You probably know Cheryl. Where's Cheryl at? Oh, I guess she's not a director. These are all the people who run Apple. Okay. Boom. Their roles on the board and all that stuff, right? What is ESG? Oh, they got environmental social government. We believe that business at its best serves public good, empowers people around the world, and binds us together like never before. So they got all these values, right? Inclusion and diversity. So if you're wondering, is Apple a inclusive company? You can come read about their inclusion and diversity section and what they're doing to make sure that they're not, whatever that word is. I can do all that stuff on their website. Okay. I'm pretty sure many people didn't know all this stuff, but it's there, right? We just gotta look forward, or gotta want to look forward, and then got to decide that we want to read this stuff. This is not very scintillating stuff to some people, but when you come to money, it's important to me. All right. So any questions regarding the stock split, anything that you've seen that you might have some questions about? I just looked at Apple real quick again. It's a company that many of us support. Many of us probably believe in, because if you didn't believe in them, you wouldn't be buying their stuff. And it's a company that's made a lot of people rich, or at least helped them to increase their inheritance and their net worth, right, over time. So but this is not what this is not. This is let me do my disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only. Please do your research before investing yourself. Okay? Please do your own research before investing yourself. All right. So also what I want to talk about this morning was what I found to be interesting is Facebook Black-owned business support. Facebook Black-owned business support. So if you guys heard anything yesterday, there was a release that came out that talked about this Facebook grant for Black-owned businesses and them giving $10 million away to Black-owned businesses. But I had two things I wanted to cover as it relates to Facebook, which I found to be interesting. All right, that's the 18th. So we're going to do the 18th first. 1 second, guys. I think this is it. So I'm gonna go straight again. I'm gonna start going straight to the horse's mouth. So this is actually two articles from Facebook. I want you guys to see. We're on Facebook now, right? I want you guys to see what Facebook is doing, whether it's out of pressure or because they're genuine. It don't matter to me. They're doing something. And I like results, regardless of how we get to them. Well, let me not say regardless of how we get to them. I like results. So at any rate, Facebook, they're supporting Black and diverse communities. This is from Sheryl Sandberg, the chief operating officer. Oh, no wonder why I wasn't on Sheryl. Sheryl's on Facebook, not Apple. Facebook, right? Of course, they're gonna give you a black picture. Look at that, the barbershop. They look at their marketing. They know we like the barbershop. At any rate, the past few weeks have compelled us to confront the reality of violence and injustice which members of the Black community face on a daily basis. Made this a little bit bigger for you guys. We're taking steps to improve our products, programs, and policies. We pulled ideas from diverse groups of our employees across different teams of how we can better fight against racial injustice. Today, we're sharing that we're already putting some of these to work. Building on our early investments, we're committing an additional $200 million to support Black-owned businesses and organizations. This commitment is a part of a broader $1.1 billion investment into Black and diverse suppliers and communities in the United States. We're also creating a new space in the Facebook app called Lift Black Voices, and we're building a more diverse and inclusive workforce so we can better support communities around the world. So investing in the Black community. From early days of the pandemic, we have been listening to small businesses and trying to do what we can to help them weather the storm, including direct financial help through our $40 million U.S. grant program. That's United States. Since we opened applications for the program, we've seen a huge amount of interest from Black-owned businesses, so we know they are facing enormous challenges. When we asked for ideas from employees, many suggested there was much more we could do to support them. Number one, we're investing $100 million this year in Black-owned small businesses, Black creators, and nonprofits that serve the Black community in the United States. This includes $25 million in support of Black content creators and $75 million in grants of cash and ad credits to support Black-owned businesses and nonprofits that serve the Black community. Did y'all hear that? So content creators, they are literally saying that if you are Black and you create content, you are valuable because you have the ear of the people, you have the eye of the people. Now content creation is a job. It's actually a thing. Right? So think about some of your comedians, maybe some people that you watch that have thousands of millions of followers. They're putting out content every day. You guys are watching it, liking it, sharing it. They could actually be applying for some support. Then you have $75 million in grants and of cash and ad credits. They're saying, hey, we realize we got a big platform that many people are using to ads to reach new customers, and we're going to make sure we give out we're going to start giving out ad credits to support Black-owned businesses and also nonprofits that serve the Black community. And they're being specific. What I like about this is this is intentional. This is like specific. They're not using minority. They're Black-owned. Okay, all right. They're not shying away from it. They say, hey, you know what? We got all these other groups, but we doing something for Black folk. All right, we're setting a goal to spend at least $1 billion with diverse suppliers. Now that diverse supply is a little bit different next year and the year after that, but that's okay. As a part of this, we'll spend at least $100 million annually with Black-owned suppliers. So they're going to do $1 billion with diverse suppliers. That would mean people that's not the majority. But in that, at least $100 million is going to go to Black-owned suppliers. From facilities to construction to marketing agencies and more. I think, Warren Thomas, you're a Black-owned construction company. You could be building you could be part of building the next Facebook facility somewhere. I'm just saying. Over the next 3 years, we'll reach 1 million members of the Black community and 1 million members of the Latino community in the U.S. through a program called Elevate that provides free training. Look at this, free training in digital skills needed to succeed, from setting up an online presence to creating marketing material and more. We've also pivoted our Boost with Facebook program to all virtual training this summer, starting with the Summer of Support program launching June 24. So they actually have, in this Elevate program, they got free training, free tech training for the most part. Digital skills, how to set up your online presence, how to build your website and stuff like that. We're giving $100,000 scholarships to Black students working towards digital skills certification. Now, what does this say, people? You might want to start telling your children to get into to look into digital tech. Okay? I don't know. I mean, I know our kids things have changed. Okay? So the same advice that we were giving people that go into college and stuff 20 years ago is not the same advice we should be giving them now. There's money available in digital skills with certification to students, Black students. Every HBCU should be saying, hey, do y'all know? Just in case y'all don't know, y'all might want to, y'all on WhatsApp and y'all on Instagram, and don't you know you can get paid for that stuff? You over there learning it all on your own, not getting paid. Now you get certified and you get paid. Okay? Digital skills, everybody putting down so digital. Digital skills for a digital world, are we putting our children in a position to capitalize off of it? To get paid for what they're doing anyway? It's one thing for you to do it anyway, and you love to do it. It's another thing to get paid to do for what you love to do. It's a new world, baby. Okay? Let's keep going. So through Facebook Blueprint program, this is in addition to our Code Forward and Tech Prep programs that offer resources support to help underrepresented companies to get started in computer science, and programming. Things like this, I'm just saying, guys, things like this kind of provoke me to say, here's where the world is going, and here's where we may want to start directing some of our kids that have interest in these particular areas: computer science, programming, digital skills. Support people raising money for the causes they care for about on Juneteenth. We'll donate $5 million, $19 each to over 250,000 Facebook fundraisers created for 3 racial justice organizations: the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, Innocent Project, and all that stuff. Then they got Elevating Black Voices, Lift Black Voices, to highlight stories from Black people, share educational resources, inspire people to take action through fundraising and racial justice. They got a more diverse workforce and all that stuff. All right. Next article real quick. Now listen to this. Now we're going to come back here to the grants and 100 million grant. I'm going to open this because maybe there's a link or something. Nope, we did that. Where's the link? Is there a link somewhere? Oh, here you go. Facebook Business Grant. You can visit this link here. Facebook Business Grants. Let me put this in the comments for you guys. This is all about learning how to find this stuff, right? It's out here. This stuff is out here. We just have to go find it. Oh, we just got to go find it. All right, so Facebook Business, Small Business Grants Program for Black-owned businesses. This grant program is a part of Facebook's overall commitment to invest $100 million this year in the Black community. They are intentional in the Black community. So that's why I keep saying it's a great time to be Black in business, right? They throwing money at you. Here's the eligibility, right? In order to apply and receive a grant from Facebook, your business must meet the following criteria: be a majority Black-owned, for-profit, not nonprofit, majority Black-owned, for-profit business. You are in business to make money. You are majority Black-owned. That's the first criteria. You must be legally registered. You can't be a side hustle. You got to be legally registered in the United States, in a U.S. state or the District of Columbia or D.C., right? But not a territory, not Jamaica or whatever territory we have. Got to be in the United States. You have to have between 1 and 50 employees. Had to have been in business for over a year. You have experienced some challenges, which you can, it's so easy to talk about any challenges you experienced from COVID-19, right? Just the transition from offline to online is a challenge. Got to get new equipment. You got to do whatever you got to do. You got to buy stuff in order to make sure you're still relevant online. And plan to use the grant funds to support the business and the community. Prior Facebook small grant applications may reapply, but prior applicants, grant recipients, are ineligible. So if you received money from Facebook before, you are ineligible. You do not have to use Facebook incorporated products to be eligible. You don't even have to be on Facebook to be eligible. The business owner must be at least 18 years old. How do you apply? You click on this button to apply. So the question is, guys, if you find that you meet that criteria, apply. It's a grant. It means that a grant is not a loan. A grant means they're giving you the money so they can help you stay in business. And they're just hoping and praying to the gods that you use the money, if you get approved, for what you say you're going to use it for. It's not something you have to pay back. It's a grant. It's something that Facebook is paying for through their profits to you, the small Black business owner, in hopes that you do right by the money that you receive. Okay? Am I missing anybody here? All right, let's keep going. I thought there was something else. Here's the other part. Here's the last thing I want to cover, and then we'll wrap this thing up. So discover Black-owned businesses. So while capital is important, so are in-product updates. Black entrepreneurs, small businesses, and local shops can now get discovered in a privacy-protected way on Facebook. We're making it possible for people to identify their page as a Black or minority-owned business on Facebook, so anyone who wants to support them can do so easily. Diverse business categories will be associated with business pages, not people. The best way to find Black-owned businesses is in the Business Nearby tool, where you can browse offerings and click through to message them directly. Self-designation is completely voluntary. Page admins can choose to skip, edit, or remove diverse-owned business information at any time. So if you are a Black-owned business and you have a business page on Facebook, you can declare your business to be Black-owned or minority-owned. Now, I don't know about you, but this is like a Black-owned business directory on Facebook. And I'm telling you right now, in the climate that we're in, people are looking to spend money with Black folk or with Black businesses. And it goes beyond Black folk. So some people say, well, is this good? Well, why? Well, it can't hurt. it ain't going to hurt. It's actually going to probably help at this particular time. Now, 2 years ago, it probably wouldn't have been good, but we ain't 2 years ago. We're in 2020. We're in the Black Lives Matter movement. Okay? Yep does the same thing, Sandra. I pretty much, they probably do. I'm sure Facebook isn't the only one that's doing this, but since we're on the Facebook platform, I thought I'd share. I thought that was interesting. That they're basically saying you can declare your business as Black-owned. So when people look for Black-owned business on Facebook, they might find you in your business and spend some money with you to support you and your small Black-owned business. Okay? Fantastic. All right, so yeah, they do. So Yelp does the same. It has an opportunity for you to do that as well if you are representing your business on Yelp as well. So yeah, guys, I mean, this is Google too. All right, yeah, there you go. So this is definitely I think good news, especially if you're a business owner and you if you're a person that for some number one, you're a business owner, not a side hustler, and you've had some challenging times, and you saying that you want to let people know that you're Black-owned. You want to be unapologetically Black. It's okay to be unapologetically Black. And let me say that it's cool now, right? It was radical about a year ago. Now it's cool to be unapologetically Black and let people know that you are the owner and you operate a Black-owned business. It is cool to be Black in business right now. Huh? Wow. It's cool to be Black. I mean, for real. I mean, that's honestly, guy. I just never thought, or never even thought in my mind that would be something that we would be saying, right? It's cool, from a societal standpoint. It's cool to be Black in business. Everybody put in their comments below. It's cool to be Black in business. Everybody put that in the comments below. Yeah, we're gonna make that go all the way up our comments before we close the thing out. It's cool to be Black in business. This same statement you can actually say to your kids now. Man, it's 2020, right? And I know that we're gonna get you through the high school and all that stuff, but I want you to know, I want you to know, young buck, I want you to know that it's cool to be Black in business. I want you to know, nephew and niece, in case nobody told you, maybe this is your first time hearing this or seeing this, but it's cool to be Black in business right now. Matter of fact, I want to show you some of the things that some of these platforms and some of the stuff that you're using, what they're doing, and how they're sending money to Black folk for them to stay in business. It's cool to be Black in business. And there is money available to you. There's money available to help you weather the storms. There's money available to you to help you get through. Now, of course, money's just one thing. How you manage the money is something else. If you go and you apply for the grant, you get the money, And then next thing you know, you got a brand new BMW, but black man wish. I don't know. But you apply for the money, you get the money. Next thing you know, you're able to go ahead and pay a couple of those things off that's been lingering. You're able to go and leverage that money to then grow that money, and you're able to get some new inventory or buy the new printing press or whatever the case may be. It's cool to be black in business. Yeah, just make sure you inbox me. And I'll also post the link as my next post on my business page. So I'll do that as well. I don't be remembering to inbox people, so I'll post the link on I'll do that right now. So just so it's done. I'll do it while you're watching me too, so you know I did it. It's cool to be black in business. All right, so I just posted it on my page so you can go and let me do this again. What happened? Let me just delete that one real quick. That didn't work. Did that work? All right, there we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, beautiful people, man. In the comments below, I'd like you to share something that you learned today. Something that made a difference for you, something that stood out for you. I don't do this just to do this. I do this to make a difference. And I've been doing this for a decade. Basically just taking my time to be able to share, teach what I know, because I don't know everything, but I can teach what I do know to my community and beyond, because there's other people that might watch that's not black. I help whoever, but I focus on my people. I'm simply asking you to answer this question in the comments below. Was this worth your time and why? I found that, financial education, empowerment, business, it's not very popular in our community. That's okay. I won't reach the many, but I'm really only concerned about the few. I'm simply asking you to answer this question in the comments below. Was this worth your time and why? Was this worth your time and why? Time is something that you can't get back. This whole almost an hour and a half that we spent together looking at Apple, breaking that down, I think pretty well. Also looking at what's going on with Facebook and what they're putting out to be unapologetic about their support of black businesses, whether it's by force or not, or whatever, right? There's stuff that's out there, and we've uncovered that we're seeing that it's cool to be black in business. It's cool to be black in business. GTW, man, money available to help you weather the storm. Absolutely. Felicia Gardner, awesome opportunity. LA Jones, fantastic way to start the morning, the weekend. Absolutely. I got you. I sent that over to you. Great job. It's my plum pleasing pleasure. Absolutely, man. It's cool to be black in business. Absolutely. This was worth my time because it allowed me to learn, understand how to invest, how to read stocks, and be more confident in my decision making on where and how to invest. Absolutely. Well, beautiful people, I want to say thanks so much for joining us here this morning on the Money and Power Show, where we discuss money being economics and also power being politics. Not easy subjects to talk about, but it's important that we talk more about it. We normally air Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Facebook page, ERGJ Enterprises, YouTube page, ERGJ Enterprises. And sometimes I'll post now because I have multiple destination priority on my personal page on Facebook as well. And if you're interested in saying, you know what, I like this, I want more of it, you want to actually connect with us, because we actually do have a club. We have a club called the Black Billionaires Club. It's an exclusive club where we'll only have up to 150 members. We do this on a regular basis. So much more in depth, much more dialogue, much more one-on-one stuff like that as well. If that's something that you're interested in, you just simply go to the website, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. Click on join the club and become one of the few, right? Become one of the few that's walking with us as we get out of debt, get rich, build wealth, and we do it together. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street.